will now be connected to the meeting. Your audio has been muted. Press star 6 to unmute your audio. This meeting is being transcribed and summarized.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
L163?
L163?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not just in here.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Will you keep track of this?
She didn't want
Well, I guess we'll deal with that at the end of the meeting. Does that make sense? I have someone that is labeled as calling user 1 and calling user 2.
You can now unmute yourself by pressing star 6.
Yourself, please.
So David is the treasurer and a lot of them try to keep it.
I'm not sure on the specifics, but there may be some key combination you have to do on your phone in order to unmute.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but this is not what it's supposed to be.
Eugene, E130.
Job is to see that the money gets into the bank. Wouldn't that be accurate, Linda? She feels phone calls.
There are now.
Elaine Shropshire, Paris Hilton there, she's in charge of a lot of stuff, but she works in the office a lot. And when you pick it up, these places just turn over there.
No, that's not. I also have Bruce Bennett. You know his units? You already got him? Okay. I have James. I don't know what unit this is. Could you please identify yourself? Just James.
L159.
L159. Thank you.
Y'all get property notice. And then tell me about it, because see, we're making a transition from the old way of...
David, do you hear me?
You ready? I have Ernest. I think it's going to be A105.
It's moving more to electronic notice.
David, do you hear me?
Yes. I have Nancy Johnson. She's A101. And hang on, I've got three more people. Sorry, one more person. Not so far.
Okay, no, earlier, but there were issues.
I have 4 unidentified users because they've called in. Right.
You can now unmute yourself by pressing star 6.
So I have 4 people that have called in through a phone number.
You're unmuted.
We don't know who you are. If it's at all possible, could you please identify yourself?
If we were on something that we're supposed to be on instead of this, you might hear me. You might see me too.
I'm sorry, I think there's some feedback.
Good afternoon, this is Marcel Santos from the Luca Financial.
This is going to be Michelle Benight.
Correct, yes, Marcel and Michelle.
Building.
Building. Yeah, so like, we're wondering if we'll have enough because like, everybody got me follow-up email. I know, but days ago, right? But when I was planning, if this wasn't, no, I said I have 2 other engagements today. This afternoon, so I wouldn't have been able to come.
35.
So like, but those have been, I've been planning those for a month. So like, I needed
Or 164.
David.
I will admit that
Sounds like a first sounds like a
David.
Hey, one moment. I'm going to try to get things a little bit tighter for everyone else.
You're muted.
Okay, so I think I have 1 other call-in users. Oh, hang on.
Oh, yes,
I know. It's like that it doesn't identify.
Did you get Patrick, Kale?
Yes, I think we did. So I think I have 3 call-in users that haven't identified themselves yet. Could you please do so?
If I was on Zello, it would work a whole lot better, but I'm not on Zello, so.
Hello? Hello? Yep.
Hello?
This is Mike. Yep. Can you hear me? This is who? With what unit? Yes, I can hear you.
This is Mike Dennis. I work in D121.
Oh, we got all the Dennis shit. Okay.
Yep, we got you. Thank you. Yeah.
Where is
If I haven't called your name, you can also email pointarc@yahoo.com and submit your information that way.
messages? Admin has the group lockdown, and all it is just it's a notification. If you try to
David, can you hear me?
I never got any meeting notice except for the one on. Well, what happened?
Janice, I see your email. I'm going to get you checked in. Thank you.
David, unmute me. This is not Americans with Disabilities Act compliant. Did you hear me? You know who I am now? This is not Americans with Disabilities Act Title III compliant. This is not Americans with Disabilities Act Title III compliant. This is not accessible.
You're muted.
Mm-hmm.
You can't unmute yourself right now. If you want to raise your hand to ask a question, press *3. You have raised your hand to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you.
That braved this awful weather out there, but actually it turned out to be nice.
All right, will you repeat that, please? We were on mute for those people that are remote.
Welcome to the meeting. The meeting has been called to order. Thank you all for showing up. We appreciate that. We hope we have a quorum so we can conduct business this year. We're working on calculating that now.
Really quickly, I do also want to say that for those of you that are joined virtually, everybody is muted by default. And at the points in time in which it is appropriate for people to speak, we will unmute you, give you your opportunity to speak, and then mute you again. There is a sort of like raise hand feature available in the app, or I wonder if those people that called in. We'll figure it out, but we'll unmute people as necessary, and that's just to kind of keep the chatter down. So just wanted to mention that real quick.
It's not ADA compliant.
David is right. We have to be very quiet.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of reading and approval of the minutes from last year.
Okay, the minutes are sent out with the notices change.
They were sent out with the documents.
Okay.
Has everybody read the minutes? Do you need a copy of it?
Email.
Yeah,
I didn't receive anything.
Okay.
The minutes. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's the present button. The minutes is all the way to the left.
Right here. Thanks.
Read it for those of us on the phone.
You can't unmute yourself right now. If you want to raise your hand to ask a question, press You have lowered your hand. You have raised your hand to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you.
I need a motion. You second it? Third. Okay.
Maybe identify yourself so Henry can get it in the minutes for next year.
Let's see, that was Karen that moved it. Who seconded it? Tracy?
I can see people back.
Okay.
Raise your hands if you vote yes to accept minutes. I think they have it.
You have lowered your hand.
They were having to come over. They're one way or the other.
Oh, you know, still because the people in the back, they can't sleep. Set this chair over here and have a glass of wine and go to sleep.
Okay, David. Are you ready?
I have a question about this. So we were told there was a form we'll give the breakdown of the form was split, and we're never given the vote count. That's something we've always published. Okay. We have the vote count.
Sorry, so they got,
reported there were 26 co-owners present, 25.
Yeah, so there should be a raise hand feature, and if you just hit that,
And that was quorum. What was the vote count of the passage of the?
okay. What I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and unmute you. That's okay.
Yeah. What was there? Oh, okay. I don't have those.
Hey, let me actually unmute you. That way everyone can hear it. Okay. All right, I'll do that now.
David declared that we had a quorum. So I have to go.
Requested an unmute.
If you want me to include the ones that voted for it in this next round of minutes, I'll be glad to do that, and the ones that voted against it. I never always thought that was unmarked.
I don't think I remember ever seeing that.
What do you mean? Are you wanting to know who voted?
What do you want to know? What we passed? We had the quorum last year, and we did pass the regime fee increase. He wants to know what the vote count was on that.
The percentage. Yeah. All right.
Well, I've never seen that in the minutes before, but we should start doing that.
The 26 that was there, that represented 31.32%, and the 25 proxies represented 21.36%. What's the percentages required for the budget?
For the quorum?
I can answer that. Allow me to answer that.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, these documents require that we have a quorum of the homeowners to conduct business. Right? So when we get 51% of the percentages that we all have different percentages. You know, you live in different sized houses. You know, right? So once you receive the majority of the percentage of the ownership, then you can conduct business. And then we only need 51% of the 51% to pass anything that would be considered conducting business. And the main thing that we talk about when we have these meetings is to approve a budget. And traditionally, budgets, occasionally you have years that don't have any increase, but generally you need increases every year. It's just the majority of people. Majority of the majority is the best way that Tom can put it.
I'm trying to unmute Ernest. I guess there's some type of technical difficulties. He said that there is an error in the minutes that he wants to express. We can circle back around to that maybe. Hopefully he figures that out. If not, Ernest, you can also call back. I also have Nancy Johnson who has raised her hand, so I'll unmute her. Go ahead, Nancy.
I don't like this.
You have raised your hand to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you.
But
Okay, I'm not hearing anything from Nancy, so I'm going to unmute Patrick. I see that your hand is up.
Yeah, I see the last sentence of the minute says that the meeting was adjourned.
You can't unmute yourself right now. If you want to raise your hand to ask a question, press *3.
oh,
The time.
yeah, the minutes does say 32:50.
Well, thank you for that. And then I have call-in user 2
You can
muting.
now unmute yourself by pressing *6.
I'll circle back around.
You're unmuted.
This is not Americans with Disabilities Act compliance.
Okay, we're going to stick to the topic at hand, so I'm going to mute you
You're
again.
muted.
I still have Ernest and Nancy Johnson, so I'm going to try to unmute Ernest again. And I'm going to try to unmute Nancy again.
We're going to have voting in this place for 10 days. It's legal now to do that. And that's the key to getting things passed is
There seems like there might be some type of technical difficulties for Ernest and Nancy. If you guys want to send us an email or call us and convey your thoughts, I guess.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now, Nancy.
You have lowered your
I
hand.
was just saying that the point has already been addressed about the minute.
Okay,
That's
thank
why
you.
we're 350.
Thank you.
You have raised your hand to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you.
352, not 23, but whatever.
All right, that might wrap up that item.
Okay, we're moving on to David with the treasurer's report.
In the operating account, we have $47,650. In the reserve account, we have $165,910. That's a combined total of $213,560. As I always say every year, I know that's a lot of money. Most of that is earmarked for specific purposes. That is not money that's freely available to spend. And most of it being, of course, in the reserves. In terms of the arrears,
I have a question on the reserve. What is the planned distribution of this fund?
May I suggest that we just let him finish first?
Big number.
yeah, not for reasons we'll describe, not big enough. But for the arrears, there's $7,900 outstanding. Again, sounds like a lot of money, but really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not. You can't expect 100% of the owners to be fully up to date, and a lot of this ends up being just a handful of people that I'm having difficulty serving. So we'll figure it out, and we'll continue to work with insurance fees. Overall, I think the national average is somewhere around like 5 to 10% for an arrears rate. That's how much outstanding versus your budget, and that puts us at about 3.8%, which is a pretty good number. I do also want to make everyone aware that we did have to write off some of these regime fees last year. This was due to an owner who he had 3 units. He stopped paying the mortgage, he stopped paying the regime fees, and it entered into foreclosure. Foreclosure is a bit of a special situation where when those units are sold off at auction, the proceeds of that is used to pay off the mortgage, usually property taxes, and then us is last. Where if there's not enough money to pay everybody, then we don't get our cut. And so unfortunately there was not enough money, and the way that the law is written is for foreclosures we have to write off anything after the date that foreclosure action finishes. So it was in total about $15,000, and that's because it dragged on for 2 years and it involved 3 units. That might be all I have for the treasurer's report. I guess I'll
Okay, at this point, if you have questions about money, now is the time to raise your hand and ask the question.
I wanted to question, what is the planned distribution of the reserve fund? It's grown significantly.
I want to answer that.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of needs, I know that. But not the least of which are the other of the buildings that are continuing to deteriorate. Is there a plan in place to use any of that money to do that?
The answer to that question, the short answer is absolutely. Absolutely. You know, all the money that we have coming in is earmarked. If you walk around this property, you'll see 6 or 8 trees that have orange ribbons around. That's part of it. We also have a plan and an ongoing program to put siding on the places, which 10 years ago I made that presentation, what this place needs. Trees, siding, fences, painting, emergency. There's always some emergency, i.e. the latest is fire. And we can discuss the latest letter from the Forest Acres Police threatening to put David in jail if he doesn't fix the clinic.
Hang on, Tom. One of the things that we can't do is that hyperbole. Like, come on.
Okay, did he not threaten with jail time?
What are you talking about?
The letter from Forest Acres?
Not a violation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a civil
Okay,
violation.
you did.
It's not David. No one can put David in jail for the perimeter fence.
Somebody
Be more clear in your language.
okay, they did say in the letter that somebody could go to jail.
It it's standard letters, and they send the same thing out to individual homeowners. They can't put Point Arcadia in jail. They can just sign it.
There was a violation brought forward by Forest Acres, of which the consequences can be a fine or jail time.
Yeah. Okay, so what I said was not untrue.
But you worded it in a.
And you said David, and it wouldn't be David, it would be the president. That would be Tom.
Oh. So I don't want to do jail time. You answer the other questions about what do we do with this money. First of all, let's talk about the operating income. The operating thing. That money is we can spend the heck out of it, and it's spent on things like siding.
You gotta put it in perspective too. That for all the different projects that we need to get done, there's probably somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million worth of investment that needs to be made. And
yes.
For example, we have a $80,000 maintenance budget, which means these things are going to move at a certain pace. And yes, you could dip into the operating of the reserve account, but for reasons that we've explained before, that ends up putting you in a very vulnerable financial position, particularly when it comes to something like a fire claim, where I know that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. I don't want to jump ahead, but
I want y'all to know that and I have to choose my words carefully on this matter because I'm not cool with it. A homeowner filed against your insurance company and was deemed legal for him to do this, and he has a claim against this HOA. We don't know how much it's for. We had a fire in this place, another fire. So y'all are on the hook for a lot of money. I don't know how much it's going to be, but it's going to be a lot of money. And that's why I have a degree in banking and finance, and I've been in the HOA business for 60 years now. And I'm a very conservative person about risk. Like I said, 5 years ago, this place was bankrupt. Now you are healthy. That's what I call it, healthy. And because of the way the insurance is written and the liabilities that take place in this place, you need a lot of money in the reserve account. I will go on to say that I have a program where we invest this money in risk-free FDIC insured CDs, and we make money off of this. It doesn't sit idle. I want to make as much money as we can because
what's the return on that?
Well, I met with the bankers on first day. They came down from downtown and met me at Forest Acres, and we discussed what we could do with 160, and the best we could do was 3.62 right now. And we've got to wait to the two CDs that David and I worked together on this. And
money then frozen?
No, it's not frozen. You can accept it if we have to. Y'all, I don't know if y'all are aware. Did you watch the news last night about the Department's party?
yeah.
Okay. Did you ever, were you around when 3 units over here got burned?
Yes. Radio.
I've got pictures of it. And that was 3 years of $550,000. And now we've got a new one that took.
Yes. When it's time, I'll try to unmute. This is Ernest, right?
In November, I believe it was. Was it 41?
Thank you.
And now I'm investigating this on my own for you.
Do you want to leave the line open?
Because
Hello?
nobody's responsible for that fire. I know that this HOA is not responsible.
So one of the things that state law that governs HOA is for them to have a reserve equal to 1 year's salary. 1 year's budget requirement. So if you look at our budget and it's $100,000, so in the reserve there is $100,000 that is required by HOAs.
I don't think there's anybody smart.
I think it's 200.
When it comes to HOA money and having one of HOA healthy. I really don't. And what?
I'm going to say something too.
Go ahead.
So
200,000.
Keep in mind too, like, we just had a claim against the insurance. The last time we filed a claim, we ended up having to switch insurance companies because it went from 55 to 90,000.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's going to happen. We won't know until next year.
Yeah.
That's a very real possibility. And the other thing that's on my mind is that we only get like 3 or 4 choices in terms of insurance companies because many are not willing to insure us due to our age. Which means that every year it's going to get harder and harder to insure, and we have to move more over to self-insurance rather than relying solely on a normal insurance company. And so a lot of the money that we're putting away is in preparation for that, because 5 or 10 years from now, we can definitely run into a situation where nobody will insure us.
So there is that whole issue of, okay, that reserve fund really needs to stay at the level it's at.
Yes. Yes.
So we put a little bit of money away every year, and it slowly grows.
Largely, it needs to be
untouched.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm concerned about are buildings themselves, not fire related, but just maintenance of them. And what I would be interested in is putting together a plan, some kind of a plan for a plan of maintenance of these buildings, because right now it's willy-nilly.
No, well, we have a priority list.
Well, let me just say you have a priority list, but every building is a priority. Every building has a priority.
So, yeah, but I would say that there's 2 buckets of people here. There's people that do need to get done sooner rather than others. I do have that list here. And, gosh, let me,
I want to say something.
yeah, go ahead, Warren, setting this up.
Okay. You want a plan? Tell you what. Me and you right here, we'll have you a plan. It doesn't take me 10 minutes to make it. Because I know that these roofs, each one of them costs $45,000.
That's part of the plan, right?
That's right. It is. And also the siding is now, how much are we spending on a fence? What I tried to determine the other day. 11.
I got the labor and the materials. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I believe, I'm just going to do a Tom guess, but I believe it's like $2,500 to do a perimeter fence.
A patio fence, you mean?
One perimeter fence. These units run about 24 feet across. The perimeter fence is 80 and 24 feet. So you figure it out. Are you recording this?
No. Looking at the note.
Rebecca is all. I'm so glad she lives in this place.
So it does, what you're saying is we're in trouble.
No,
It's not slow progress.
To stay ahead of the game here. Who's alone if that were the cost? It'd be $1 million here, wouldn't it?
About 400,000.
for what?
If we wanted to do everybody's roofs, and that's minus the 10% that we've already done.
How was that done before? Because this would be the second replacement that cycle, correct?
The way it was done before is they took out a bank loan. There was insurance involved because there'd been a hailstorm. This is back around 1999, 2000.
Yeah.
And they were able to get a bank loan, and then everybody had to pay for the roof.
Mm-hmm.
The HOA didn't pay for the roof. The homeowners paid for the roof. Through an assessment, the HOA got the loan. We're trying to avoid assessments right now.
This guy does not like assessment. I just wrote a $10,000 check for my properties downtown Charleston. And we've had assessments here before. I'm an assessment inverter. I would much rather have the regime fees go up in small increments. You can miss a year every now and then.
I guess what I would like to see is sort of a priority list of these big projects so that we would know
Sheldon, can we do that?
as owners what we're facing, other than just the siding and the fences and the fascia board.
A lot of what it comes down to is, number one, emergencies, right? Like if you got a roof leak, you got a plumbing leak, we take care of that immediately. Everything else is usually work order based. So I got a binder over there that has all the work orders, and every week when I'm giving a list to Adrian or whoever's doing the work, we're picking through and trying to figure out who to do next. And that's largely based on how severe the issue is and how old the issue is. And when we kind of get caught up is when we start doing a back. And so, like, Adrian, or I asked Adrian to give us a quote to do another 4 set of backs. And we're just kind of working through that at the pace that we can. The roof situation I do also want to quickly mention is the strategy there is to repair what we can repair, and then when it gets to be too great or we can't diagnose the issue, we come to a replacement. And for example, last year we had that happen. It covered 4 units and it was $17,000, which is a fifth of our maintenance budget, roughly. A fourth. And so this is what I mean is like it just takes a few bad things to happen that can kind of wipe things out.
Let me explain that to them. 2 bad things that are happening right now was that fire in 141 and the latest letter that Elaine received from Forest Acres Police.
No, it was Forest Acres.
Okay, Forest Acres, the city of Forest Acres. That one expenditure there alone could be $100,000 to $200,000, couldn't it?
Maybe a little hyperbolic, but sure, it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
Replacing the entire fence.
Yes.
Do we need a fence?
Well, now this letter came in yesterday.
Literally yesterday, as we were leaving,
Yeah.
I looked at it briefly, and we have not looked at it since.
So my question is, why do we need a fence?
Yeah, and I think that's where we're leaning towards.
Okay, now that's where the people come in involved, because in my opinion, it's not a board decision because it involves what I consider to be common element. And the board doesn't have authority to destroy. I won that case. I filed a case against y'all for that, what you did over there, and I won it. You cannot go out there and destroy something that was part of the original exhibit. That's not, that you can get sued for that. And now we're in a situation where I think that Forest Acres wants, it's a complaint filed by our neighbors.
No, we don't know that.
No, we don't know that, I'm speculating. That's right.
And be clear, you're speculating.
Speculating. But they're not happy with us. They complained before. So, what do we do now? Do we take the fence down? And how much of the fence do we take down? I'm not a big fan of taking that fence down because it protects this community. I've already had complaints from others over there on building 100 block. People breaking through back there and coming home with people, or I don't know who they are, but they're complaining about.
Then make a decision to replace a certain part of the fence that is.
That's partly what we need to figure out. Like I said, we just got the letter. We haven't looked at it in detail.
The reason why that fence over there is separating our property from their property.
Okay.
But like one of the things we need to check on is that part of the original exhibits?
Yes.
And so if it is, then we can maybe defer putting the fence back up, but we can't take away the fence.
Never. It's not a discussion that needs to take place today.
Yeah.
Discussion is now on brand new development, and if we start at the board level to discuss it, and then whether or not I deem or the board deems that it is a matter that needs to go before the people to vote on, that's the procedure.
I brought it up, so I think that
I brought it up in the context that can be a massive job.
Yeah. And a large expense that none of us really put it to the vote. I'm sure you could probably get a positive response on those. Segregate some of these fences. I have a fence all the way around.
I agree with you. It's a procedural matter, and I bring it up today because the letter arrived yesterday afternoon.
Well, after 2 weeks, the email 32. If you are in a city of court, or you like me, you're always moving around looking at things. It's unsightly. I don't blame them for complaining. When you drive past there, it's open, and what you're looking at is not pretty. The back there, it's not pretty. So, and it's been a long time.
Yeah, sure has.
And it comes a little timely too because
that because these 5 people, we can't correct this in 48 hours. So we might have 48 hours. I'm so sorry.
or more. He's talking about the letter. But just a little bit of background as well. The fence that's being complained about, we took out sections of it in order to take down trees, and part of the justification was we need to take down more trees so the WAC put up a then we got the letter about this, and so now it's kind of trying to bring all that.
Segment is fit, because those pine trees got to come out. So that the fifth segment could be removed, service the trees, and then put it back down. A lot of this is discussion. We've got time. I have to respond. We have to respond to our takers in some fashion, which in my opinion, I'm going to have a meeting with them. Say, look, we need time to discuss this. We will make the repairs, immediate repairs, to make it to compliance.
At least to make them happy.
Right,
Yeah.
compliance. That means probably putting on inspection. I don't know, but facing y'all in the money is the roofs, the siding, the perimeter fence, and the biggest fence, and then there's what?
And a whole slew of little things. Like it's a lot of that, yeah. Well, not necessarily emergencies, just little big things that, yeah.
But see, y'all, I hope nobody in this room looks at these 5 people. They work hard, and we all make input, and I think we've got one of the best boards I've seen. I've been in the HOA business for 60 years. I think it's a matter of education for y'all to really know what you're facing here. I know this feeling of, why isn't it being done? There's time limits on like me. I want to do this for the field my boat in the Caribbean than to be here. But we can't think of this is a long-term process. We're making progress in this place. It's a whole lot better than it was 5 years ago, isn't it? You don't know right here, and the place is calmer. We are making repairs, we're replacing stuff. But it's going to be a slow process. That's the only thing I said. When I made that presentation about the Hardy Board, well, it was 20 years ago. We're still working on it.
I think to finish that project is probably going to be roughly another $400,000.
Yeah. David's got a good handle on what it costs on this thing. He's really brilliant when it comes to this. I say he should be a lawyer. But you got a great board, in my opinion, working for the homeowners here to make this place a better place. Your property values have increased dramatically over the past 5 years. I can give you that. I was about to sell both of my units for 75 feet because I was so disgusted with this place. And then I said, no, there's hope because this place has great potential. You're in the center city of, I did these European studies about where populations go. They go to the place where it's convenient for them to work. And condominiums are highly...
Yeah, I know. Asking the other questions and then I'll jump over to the rest of the people.
So on and so forth. This place is very well situated for that. That's why I stayed on.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Stand up. Come on, let's see who you are. Tracy loaned me money to buy a farm one time. She loaned me $500,000 to buy a farm.
Yeah, I just want to say that I've owned that here for 10 years. Thank you. I want to say that. Thank you so much. Question about the insurance. It's been a little bit of research. They got something. It's covered by, correct? By HOA. Right? What we said is HOA.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that 100% covered?
Well, you're speaking of a damage claim against the... No, it's not. We have a deductible.
Does that fall on us?
No. Will you say us? I'm assuming you mean the owner.
Home screen.
That part of what we said, HOA.
HOA.
I know South Carolina had a law that says in condos in general that floor space that for the roof. They were not doing that. True.
What's the question?
I want to make sure. The question is, insurance, the HOA, that happens to the roof, like there's a fire,
Yes.
or there's a leak,
Yes.
that's covered by the HOA, not the home.
Correct.
Not the
Well, are you saying the HOA is responsible?
Yes.
Now, the insurance is a different matter. Well, no, it doesn't cover 100% of the cost of it. We have a deductible if we had to make a claim. Okay.
HOA.
HOA, yes. Very good, thank you.
Does anybody that is here in person have any more questions on this topic?
What is the topic? Are we still on the treasurer?
Treasurer's report, yeah.
Can you stand up and tell us who you are?
And almost, would you even be willing to come forward a little bit, please? I'm sorry, it's just I want to make sure that everybody can hear you.
B108. There's an addition, when we bought the condo, it was an addition to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told that my roof wouldn't come because there was like a brown spot in the office area. I didn't put it there, but when someone before me had put an addition to the condo, and there was a brown spot in the ceiling area. I was told that because of an addition, it would become the roof. That roof part of it would not be, that would be only.
You want to answer that?
So let me just clarify the distinction here. The roofs of the original buildings are covered by the HOA, but because some units have additions that have been built onto the back patios, just to be clear, these are technically not legal. They should not exist. They do. And there's obviously a roof that has been constructed as a result of that addition. Because, again, those are not legal, they would fall under as a modification and belong to the owner. So if there's an issue with the roof of an addition, that unfortunately does mean it's owner responsibility.
Well, even if I understand that it's not legal, how did they even get permission to?
That's a good question.
That was years and years ago.
Any unit on the water that do not have one.
Yeah, you put A180. Yeah, I think A180 is the only one that has an original.
That's Karen's place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The original owners all opted, or 99% of them opted to have a screened-in porch. That was an option.
And this is one of the things that I think we've mentioned before, that in the past, the board may have approved things, but that doesn't mean they have the authority to approve things.
Okay, that's where I come in. With years of experience in this matter of the legality, Title 27, tax additions, enforcement, insurance, so on and so forth. It all comes together and reconciles together. So, when this place was built, there are exhibits to go along with the master deed, the permits that they got to build this place, but primarily the exhibit. And the exhibit are what the HOA is responsible for. But if the owner comes in and they modify a claim and something goes wrong, in fact, the lady who was just up here with your thing, it also goes on to say that if there is a deficiency with your modification and it causes damage to your neighbor, you're responsible. Yeah, that's another issue that came up. People had to put on a gutter on their addition, and the gutter went into the building next door, and they're responsible for that. These gutters, I don't know who put them on. Well, we're going to take them all off, as far as I'm concerned. Henry's got one that's just destroying the building next to him.
Need my better.
No.
The HOA paid for putting that up.
And that's where the board, I don't care if they use language by approval of the board. The board goes up against Title 27. They do not have the authority to do anything with common elements. I want to fix this because I'm $400,000 for it now.
Are there any other questions?
I have one other question.
Yes.
Regarding your operating budget.
Yes.
The three largest expenses, not the three largest expenses, the third largest expense on an ongoing basis is landscaping. And I would like to say something about that because you all have given a contract back to great expectations heading on.
Oh, we haven't signed a contract.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, we're on a week-to-week basis, and that.
Is there a plan to put them under contract?
I can answer that. I'm now in direct contact with a lot of the owners and trying to convey to them what the owners of this place complain of and if they take care of it, I'm gonna go along with the situation. If owner here proposes a change in that situation, then I suggest they make a proposal and we vote on it.
Well, my concern is this, that, that we're paying them $25,000 a year.
Is that right?
That sounds about right.
The weekly is 20,000, and then the specialty, I think we're not having them do the bushes anymore, so that's
We're not
close
going
to
to
20 now.
$5,000.
Well, under the original contract that you had with them,
Which is no longer active.
it's like dated, but it was active last year.
No, it's been inactive.
It's only 1 year, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, let me just say, it stated that they were to work 3.5 hours every Monday.
I made that deal, and it was 3 hours of working, 15 minutes to pack up. That's what my agreement with Wally was.
3 hours.
3 hours.
You all asked me to monitor the situation while I continue to watch them. In many cases here, less than an hour.
I'll go that up to him, and
He's finished now. Okay. Less than an hour every week. If you bring them back, you better have somebody timing them, and you better have somebody watching over them, because they're not completing the job.
it won't be me.
How many times, Elaine, have you complained that the back of our unit was never cut?
Every week.
Every week, yeah.
And a lot of other complaints that come in that result in their lack of attention around our properties, within the crew. So my concern is if we're going to spend that money, spend it on somebody who's going to be responsible for it, for one, or have somebody supervise it. It shouldn't have to be supervised. Because if you call them, they'll just give you a lift.
I have to disagree with that statement, because part of the problem I have with HOAs today, we just did $43,000 worth of work down in Charleston, and I raised the question. I said, the inspectors who wrote this up, I said, they should come back in there and see the contractor did their work. Does that not make sense, Matt? Well, same way with oversight here with people cutting grass. I think that you make contracts with contractors and they will cut corners. It's just a natural thing. And oversight is something that I see in the condominium business that needs to be strengthened. And that's why I always, when Lyle said, I won't time them, I'll do it, I said, good. And so it doesn't work out well when owners start talking to workers. And so it was like, I don't want them interfering and so on and so forth. But I made the point to Wally and Tyler that facts are you're not spending 3 hours on the property. And Wally said, I need to know that, Tom. And I said, okay, I'm going to leave it up to you. I can't be out here to time them.
It's not a matter of timing, Tom. It's a matter of them being responsible to what they agreed to do. Okay?
And for that amount of money.
Yeah, for that amount of money. Tom and I were out there shoveling on the curves that they should be blowing out. And I pointed that out to Tom, and he's like, yeah, we're going to be on this. But when you have dirt pile up along the curves, and I've been out there shoveling it myself, that's what happens. Weeds grow up from it. And in the middle of summer, how many of you have seen weeds all through our parking lot? And that's part of it.
David, what do you think about all that? Sheldon, what do you think?
That's a valid point.
Well,
It's valid. It's valid. The getting done, that's a little more tricky because
what he's referring to was, I brought almost everybody into this business here that I can rely on to do work in a situation like this. Now, when they fall short and there's little holes that these people don't, the biggest problem that's come out is, as far as Baker's come out and says, our landscaping man cannot put the trimmings in the bin anymore. If he does, we're going to revoke his license. So our landscaping guy says, I'm not putting anything in there. I'm not going to run the risk that my license will be revoked. So George, one of my contract guys, long-term friend, he and I built 2 houses together. So I come out here, me and George, and sometimes other people, even Ingrid is thrown in, and we do try to fill in the holes where it's like Lyle said, we're out there. I bought a new blower for $200, so we could try to keep the curbs clean. And it's right. People get out there and they clean their own curbs, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. I agree with that.
Well, I mean, I think with regards to this, I mean, why can't you all go in front of Forest Acres and state your case? I mean, they get their stuff picked up every week.
From you didn't you? Or somebody did. Maybe Tyler or Wally did. They went down there and tried to make that argument. They said, absolutely not. They would not budge. And at the end of the day, that's what it is.
But it's not. Wally is not.
I'm going down to meet with Forest.
I think as a board, we need to do that.
I am going to be making a very soon visit with Forest Acres in response to the letter and because my case revolves around who owns the perimeter fence. We own it.
But I'm getting back to the 3 and 5.
I'm going to address that also.
That should not be a deterrent for them to not do their job. It's a deterrent right now, and they're using it as an excuse for them not to get the hell out of here in an hour's worth of time. That's what they're doing.
Their cost would increase by hauling it off-site. And it's not an insignificant cost, in which case we need to pay them more to offset that cost.
Are they charging us for that?
No, they're not, because they're not picking up because they can't put it in the bin.
Right.
So it is a catch-22. Mm-hmm. It is an obstacle for beautifying our beautiful property here.
By the way, before I get it, who are you?
I'm Melanie. Your next hour 199.
I met you yesterday. Okay.
Let's stay on topic now.
I'm going to stay on topic. I just want to know who she is because she pledged that she was going to come to the meeting today.
She did.
And give us support.
Well, she did.
I know she did.
Okay.
My compliments.
Moving on.
Okay. How much time are we going to spend on landscape? This place is
Okay.
Okay,
If noted, it's more complicated than just a simple have somebody come out there look at it.
Yes.
And I don't quite know what the answer to that is. And it's not as if we haven't thought about it.
But I appreciate it.
I want to, Ingrid Clark has been so generous to set up our little food thing over here. We have refreshments. Okay. Get up and go eat some donations.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Question, but my parents used to live in a condo complex near Trader Joe's. And once every quarter or whatever, they would have a time where everyone would get together and on a Saturday morning or something like that and do landscaping together. I mean,
you can't unmute yourself right now. If you want to raise your hand to ask a question, press star 3.
Bring people together.
We've done that.
Right, but it never
You have lowered your hand.
turned out, nobody turns out for it.
You have raised your hand to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you.
And there's only a handful of people show up to do it. And I'm not going to participate anymore in it.
So,
None of these now go out there and walk in the mud.
now is not the time, obviously. But the spring, once things start growing a little bit more, and I don't know if we can cut down on some of the little things that we're getting them to do that they're not doing anyway. I don't know.
George and I came by the other day, worked 3 hours, and we cut bushes and raked out and took a pipe, filled the bin up, but we done it twice. One guy had to pay $7,000 to get his, what's his name? Tinsley? Did you say that? Yeah. What's his name?
It was 75, I think.
$7,500. They ripped him off because the crepe myrtles that John Chickens planted in his place, he planted 100 of them, and I don't know why he should do time for it. But we're now having to go pull them out because of the roots.
Similar to that, too, with taking out the pines. One of the reasons why we're taking out the pines is safety. We've had 3 trees, dangerous trees, in a year and a half.
One fell on Mr. Hyde.
And if they fell the wrong way, they would have killed somebody. And so we're taking out trees for that reason. But the other reason is because of the debris it creates. And if we reduce the amount of trees, we reduce the debris, we reduce the amount of work. And this has also been on our minds and why we take some of those actions.
All right, Lyle's he's into that subject matter. Don't let me forget, I want to talk about fire.
Yeah. Any other questions for people that are in person?
So I think what you come to say is maybe it's quarter, but if the census out there, whoever was the volunteer, you fire, okay? You probably get 10. I think that's the same. Yeah, because I would do it.
It would. I'm tired of doing it. I ain't doing it anymore.
Well, let somebody else not tired.
Yeah. I come out here and work all the time. I'm tired of it.
Yes, I'm tired. Let's put out there who wants to do it.
Yeah. We not have a forum. Yes, we do. This meeting is not over.
Okay, let's
As of right now, we don't. Let's not
proceed
talk
for the
about
time
it.
being, at least, and let's move on to...
Okay, so I'm returning.
I have people that have questions that are...
Okay, related to the budget.
Yes, so for those of you that have your hands up, this needs to be related to the budget, and please try to run through this really quick if you can. I'm going to unmute Nancy Johnson.
Good.
Okay, I'm not hearing Nancy Johnson. I'm going to unmute Michelle and Marcel.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Marcel. First, David, thank you very much. We appreciate the service that you're doing on the financial side. Quick question. When I joined Point Arcadia about a couple years ago, the delinquency was roughly 8% of the units. Last year was roughly 14%, and last month on a new survey, it was 21%. Obviously, except with the foreclosure unit, are we doing the steps? Are we enforcing the steps to make sure that all units are up to date? And what are those steps, and how can we tighten those steps to make sure that everyone pays the regime fee?
Yeah, so the general rule is 3 months. After 3 months of not paying the regime fees is when we generally go over to across the street to the magistrate's office and file a complaint against them. I do try to reach out to people ahead of time, obviously, but if things are that bad, it's probably going to go to court. Haven't had to do that in a while. Usually reaching out to people is enough, and I try to do that once a month. And it's a little bit of a revolving door. Like, people get caught up and then they fall behind, and caught up and fall behind, and it's just kind of the nature of the way that works. Like I said, most of the regime fees is probably around $5,000. It's just a handful of people, and like one of them in particular, I have no contact information for him, none whatsoever, and I have no idea how to get him served. I have no idea how to get him to court, and that's been one of the difficulties. I also try to do things like first thing, you're given your statement. We try to give out your statements every year, and for those of you that are virtual, we'll email you later. That way you're at least aware if you do have a balance that at least once a year you're made aware of it. And I do want to say to that too, we do charge late interest. We do bring in a fair bit of money in that, like $2,000 or $3,000 a year.
Right.
So at least in that regard, you kind of bring some income back in to make up for it. Eventually, it'll catch up. But also at the same time too, I want to be clear that I'm flexible on that. I do try to work with people if you work with me, and it's just trying to tackle it a little bit at a time. And like I said, I don't think our arrears are that bad considering our budget. They're not terrible.
A couple of things. I don't know if you use that, but you've mentioned up to 3 months. Maybe tighten up because usually after 1 or 2 months, there's a very little chance of people catching up on their own. Do we use, for instance, you said court? Is it magistrate or just the court system?
Yeah, the magistrate, which happens to be right across the street from us.
Right. It helps. And then the second point is once it is more than 3 or 4 months, I mean, you already gave them way too much leave. Should we look into lawyers?
Just me trying to be
I want to get
accommodating while not being too lenient.
Right.
Maybe it's just a different opinion, but Tom wants to make a point.
Yeah, and just one more question. Then do we normally go and work with lawyers to put a lien into the property? I'm sorry, Tom, go ahead.
I can answer it. When I came on 5 years ago, I had a rule that on the first day of the month, the HOA will file a lien against your property. And the whole reason behind that is you go too far, like you said, you can't recover.
Mm-hmm.
But the HOA has a fiduciary responsibility to put that property in jeopardy and have some sort of claim against it. You can't go on forever and let them and baby them along. It just doesn't work. Now, the first day of the third month means that they are technically only in arrears for 2 months, right?
Usually the first day of the 4th month, but sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, my standard was third month. So, David you're very lucky to have someone like David who is he's very good at applying the documents requirements on fines. So we generate a right good amount of money. But my primary thing is to file a lien on them, get it recorded, because if they default, then we foreclose on the property.
I do want to clarify something. Tom just said fine, but I think he meant late interest.
Yes, that's correct.
We don't really fine.
Difference. The interest is provided for in the provisions of the master deed. Fines come about from rules and regulations.
And also, we have taken people to court. We've been successful every time because it's a pretty straightforward thing. You have to pay these regime fees, and let me also say this, that there's no excuse under the law that exempts you from paying these regime fees. I know that argument has been used, and that argument has never been successful. So we have done that. We have come very close to filing liens and foreclosing on people. Thankfully, we've never, I don't want to have to do that to somebody, but we have an obligation to people if it gets to that point. We've come very close. Thankfully, we haven't actually gone through with it. Every person has eventually gotten cut up. But like I said, it's a constant thing. We're constantly working on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. My only concern, and I appreciate that, David and Tom, obviously, if they are put into a payment plan, then it's something differently. I mean, at least they are trying to recover. My concern is that I'm seeing the delinquency rate, even though the money might not be as high, I'm seeing a delinquency rate increasing. The trend is going up significantly, and I just want to make sure that the message we send out there is that this is not acceptable. We all depend on that regimen fee to make sure we do the adjustments and the works that we all want to do. So to me, it's critical that this 21% delinquency rate needs to be below 5%. Obviously, it's not.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify something. I'm not sure where 21% came from. Our arrears are currently at 3.8%.
It's the way the question is worded on the questionnaire was what percentage of are delinquent on their fees.
Oh,
At that time, it was.
I see.
It was, it's not 21%. It's just what percentage were delinquent. And at that time, we had 21 people that had a balance due.
I see. I didn't understand your.
That was resolved shortly after that, but that was the timing of the questionnaire. It's going to be different every time.
So it's now at 3.8%?
No, I thought we were talking about two different things. The arrears rate, which is the amount owed divided by the total budget, is 3.8%.
Oh, understood.
What I now realize that you're talking about is how many actual owners are behind. And 21%, with most of these just being like 1 month behind.
Yeah.
Okay, to back the question, that number is awfully high, and that we need to somehow collectively make sure that this number is reduced to as low as possible. But understood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nancy Johnson, I'm going to try to unmute you one more time.
Depois a gente usa 21%.
Okay.
Nancy, you there?
She was coming across real clearly the first time she spoke.
Yeah, and if we need
Can you hear me now? Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. My question, and I guess it falls under the part that we're talking about finance now, is when a person when you've gone to the magistrate and you know that they're in foreclosure, is that something that you put into the minutes, or is it mentioned at the meeting since it's reached the foreclosure stage, where other people might be interested in buying the units or pulling it out of foreclosure?
Who must be to?
Nancy Johnson.
Keep it on topic.
Okay.
I just asked the question since it was mentioned that it was like $15,000 or so that was unrecoverable once it went to foreclosure.
It did go to foreclosure. Yeah, and the bank bought it back.
At a loss. They didn't. I don't think that they were made whole either.
No, they weren't made whole. No, there was a big loss on that.
And it was in the newspaper.
Yeah, so it's acknowledged if it's in the newspaper, right?
But
It's not in our minutes or anything.
Because we're not involved in the buying and selling of units.
I think she might be just saying generally, like just generally notifying people that, hey, this is in foreclosure if you're interested, and that's just not really something.
That's not something we're obligated to do.
No, it's not just about obligation. I think she's just saying, do
We
we?
just don't do it.
Yeah, we just don't.
I don't have time for it. Yeah. If Nancy is an investor who wants to buy another unit through foreclosure, then you would refer to the public notice.
Yeah, I just asked the question, sir.
Yeah, I understand.
Give me that house, please.
All right. Before we lose all these people and they go to sleep, I want to talk about fire safety.
Okay, but we still have an agenda.
You're the boss. I'm just going to go along with what you say.
Katie? I have you on speaker if you want to go ahead. Just quick question.
Can't hear anything. It's the annual homeowners meeting. I'm on the telephone, on speakerphone, for the annual homeowners association meeting right now.
Okay. I was gonna see, right, this lady put this cat out temporarily, and I'm at least keep it for like 2 days because it's cold. And unfortunately, the damn cat, I know when I was throwing stuff away at your house, there was a little kitty post there.
You can have it.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to keep this cat, but for now it needs something so I won't scratch at my couch.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have all my cat stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to be out here because it's bad out here. I got to get off this road.
Yeah. That's,
I'm about to pull up though.
okay, I'll unlock the door, but I'm on speakerphone supposedly with the board, but they got me muted, so I can't hear anything. So,
All right.
All right.
You have lowered your hand. You have raised your hand to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you.
Someone was detected at the front door.
Hey, I've lost audio. Is anybody there or?
Yes, I can hear him now.
Yeah, finally.
Okay, I just heard you, but I don't hear anything else.
I'm terribly sorry, it didn't even occur to me. We have somebody on speakerphone and it was causing feedback, so I muted it. But thank you for bringing it to our attention. I just think we need to move on from this. I'm not sure. Are we covered up done? Bruce? Colton, I'm going to hang up now and we're going to move on to the next person and then we're going to move on to the next topic. We have been on this for a very long time. Your comments are noted and we'll discuss it internally. Let's see. Bruce, I've unmuted you. Oh, I see that you took your hand down. Okay, well, I think it's,
You can't unmute yourself right now. If you want to raise your hand to ask a question, press *3.
Okay.
Turning the meeting over to Tom.
Because you still use that one to set shit on?
Is this email fire?
So who can I talk to?
Marie, stand up and
No,
tell
who
them you
can I
want.
talk to about it? She threw the cat out in the snow.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm not even supposed to be out. There's little guys everywhere.
Animal control.
I see what was saying.
And there's more cat stuff over here.
I saw that we're,
Just have to move some of my things.
No, there's no cable.
There, I've been several times.
After the meeting, will you show me where that is? Because that needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
Why, you want a cat?
Huh?
You want a cat?
Will you discuss that with us later, and then we'll clarify that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with that. But they've got me muted. And then they had the sound muted, so I couldn't hear what they were talking about.
My other question is,
I don't remember. I threw a lot of that cat stuff away.
Yeah, there's some right here behind.
You mean like address to? One arcade.
To the left, right there.
There's something in the chewy box?
That's why everybody's
no,
in the
just
rear,
jump.
or
I gotta
everybody
find
else
that
on the
cat. That cat ain't got
are
no
in the
litter.
rear.
That cat ain't got no food.
This right here.
She's new, and she asked today about a welcome pack, which we don't have, but someone needs to get.
Only
That information is
right
given
now.
to your realtor or your closing attorney somewhere in, and somewhere it's not locked. It's
This
about
cat ain't got shit.
identifying
When I
the
say this cat ain't
closing.
got nothing, she threw the cat just clean out the damn.
All right, we'll get there for you after the meeting.
Oh, you talking about this thing? Yeah. Oh, I ain't gotta take this today.
Tom's opportunity to talk about
You talking about
Yes,
this?
this is Tom's
Yeah.
opportunity. You have the floor now,
That's a
Tom.
scratch pad.
Ain't that one got a scratch pad?
Yeah,
We've
no.
experienced
Here's another scratch
fire
thing.
loss.
You want this?
This place is a
You
very
got 3
susceptible
different cat
fire.
houses.
Uh,
There's one right here too.
I have to be guarded about what I say about this, but it impacts you financially. Insurance is involved.
You
Now,
trying to give me all this cat shit? You think you slick?
I respond
Well, if
to
you want it.
complaints from homeowners,
This is where some of it is.
and David does too. Now, we're not licensed electricians, but we, as board members, we have a duty to
Oh,
investigate.
it's more cat stuff than this thing.
Yeah.
Correct, David?
Here, let me slide out.
Yeah, David and I we put forth a good faith effort
That fat
to
ass
respond
cat,
to complaints. One of the things
Is this for me?
I'm going to show you, this is the kiss of death in this place. Here it is. That little device right there. If y'all are plugging these things into your duplex, and you're running a stream of computers, which I've already seen 2 this past month that are doing this. One person that is here in this community is running a office off of a power cord extended into another because she's blown out into other circuits. Now, this right here, we're gonna make a rule that if I TV in one of these units, there's gonna be
I'm gonna put my hand down because they're not gonna acknowledge me.
Can you explain what it is for the virtual people?
I ain't worried about it.
Oh, for the virtual people,
You have lowered your
the
hand.
device that I'm holding in my hand is a device that you plug into a duplex that when these places were constructed,
Don't worry about it.
they are 15 and very few 20 amp lines. When you plug one of these 6 outlet plate extension things into that outlet, you overload it, it heats up, melts, and starts a fire.
I gotta go to
That right there will cause a fire. So what I'm seeing is complaints. I know I have a registered complaint about a circuit that was tripping. And upon inspection, I find out that they're running 3 computers and phone lines and all this other stuff off of this one 15 amp circuit. And the cords have been reported to be hot, and that's a dangerous sign. And it's got to be corrected because y'all burn this place down. You'll do it and you won't even know about it. And I can't say too much about this fire business, but this fire business is going to cost you a lot of money. That's why I'm saying you better approve this budget because your reserve is going to get impacted. If it doesn't get impacted, and I win this case for you, then I say next year then let's lighten up on it, you know. But right now, I see this place is having a claim against our insurance. Does anybody want to back me up on that?
Yeah, okay.
So one of the things you can do, every appliance that you buy has got an amperage amount of electricity it uses. So if you look at that and you add up, and the number of appliances you've got exceed the amount of the amperage of your breaker, that's too many appliances.
And what you may not know is that if you cause a fire in a condominium complex, and you kill the person next door to you, you're responsible for it. And my job for y'all is to maintain what the HOA is responsible for a clear distinction what the homeowners, y'all are responsible. It's just common sense. Don't overload your circuits. And this speech is about, recently, we've had a fire, and it could relate to this. And so I advise y'all to be very much aware of what you're loading into these circuits and know what the average is. We have mostly 15 amps.
Any protector, that's something different.
It's not so much a problem with the device itself, it's what the device allows you to do, which is to overload it.
These things, this one costs what you pay for it. I went to Walmart to buy it to make this illustration. This is a cheap model. It has no surge protector internal.
And it's a real good can.
But it doesn't mean you can't still overload it with the surge protector. Yeah.
So with a surge protector, there's where the load, what they call a load, there is a trigger in there, a breaker. Right. That when it heats up, it will cut off before it ever gets to the main unit breaker. But the HOA is responsible for the wiring. It is not responsible for what you plug in. If you plug something in there and you okay, another situation is charging devices. You put your cell phone on the bed and you go off to work and it will blow up and cause fire. You're responsible for that. Be very careful about charging on your devices.
Sharpen their nails on that instead of your couch.
Did you just say, like, y'all are responsible for wiring?
HOA, way that I read your master deed, is that we built these places with the exhibits and the wiring was included. It goes to that outlet.
So I have a lot of outlets that don't do anything, or I do not know what they do. I flip a switch, nothing happens, nothing's turning on, no lights, no power, no nothing. I have all these lights throughout my house that I do not know what they do. Or there was also a time when I blew out 2 microwaves within a matter of a few years. And someone went underneath the house and realized there was like a live wire underneath my house.
Yes.
Just dangling.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, so if I get an electrician, or if you guys get an electrician, then I can go reimburse an electrician.
What?
But like something in my bathroom, and I can't switch out the lights because there's something electrical there. So
it sounds like what we need to do is a little more investigation.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things, too, that we can't address something that we're not aware of.
right.
And I'm not like putting blame on you or anything like that. It's just we're not aware of that, so maybe we should put a work order and we can investigate. And it gets tricky because you have to figure out what's the source. If the source is HOA, then obviously we'll take care of it. If it's owner, then owner. And one of the things I also want to mention, because this kind of touches on the topic, is I think we've determined that the receptacles are owner. And the receptacles.
The receptacles are the owner, and any fixture is the owner.
Yes.
Wires, fixtures, receptacles, 3 different things.
The reason that's important is I'm sure a lot of people have 20, 30-year-old receptacles that no longer, normally you plug something in and it sticks or falls out. And I just warn y'all that if you have that and it is owner responsibility, you may want to replace your receptacles. I don't think that's something that's HOA.
Yeah, I have some call 9 o'clock at night. As a matter of fact, one coming underneath, and then the other one was
Hey, girl.
So I'm headed to Fort Wayne now. When I get there, don't send it to my cash app.
try to be.
I'm gonna go to my time, my cash app.
Okay.
I know a lot about.
But I'm gonna call you as soon as I get there.
All right. I need a lighter too. I'm gonna send you enough.
All right.
All right. The complaint was upstairs, and there was none of the outlets working. So I started putting in my fine and got to the circuit. I traced it to outlet they had just plugged in. And I pulled this out. I saw that it was burned. Yes. And then I went back and reset the master breaker. Came back, tested it, it worked. This is the kiss of death. You want to die? I only use it. Each word. You know, I think that it is like 14 to the overheads and maybe 16 to the overheads. And I got it my place in Belgium is 12. It's beautiful. I think what we have mostly here is 14. It's just well, it's middle of the road. You can't ever use it. Take those men do what? Got the stereo out there going top this girl cleaning. Their stuff gets warm. This is actual cases. These are actual cases. I don't know if I could call these that churches are not, you know, my outlets are not working. The fact that we can get in, David can get in and
yeah, it's not what they there. Okay. Gotcha.
Let me say that really quick too. If you have maintenance and you haven't submitted a work order, it's not on our radar. We don't go around looking for things to do, even though I know there's a lot to do. Yeah. I got plenty of work orders to go through. I'm going to work through those first before I deal with things that I haven't gotten a work order on. And then sometimes too, particularly with things that are inside the unit, there's no possible way we could know that there's an issue. And it is required within the governing documents that you have a duty to report.
You people, you know, you need to give us some sort of notification, us being the board, some sort of notification that there's something that you want done. Right now, what's emerging right now is Sheldon's got a big root problem. Don't you, Sheldon?
Root problem.
Root. She said, yeah. He's got a root problem. So we got to figure out what to do. And these, what makes a problem as far as HOA is liability to somebody at trip.
Something else I wanted to build on too that you had said was about how we do investigative work. And even though we're not experts, we have accumulated a lot of knowledge, and we can kind of be that first line of defense for figuring out where do things need to go. Yeah. And like one example that comes to mind is we had a situation a few years ago where somebody complained of their toilet backing up. That owner called a plumber out there, and the plumber told him there was a root ball in the sewer line out in the parking lot. Yeah. We ran our camera down there, and there was nothing. And
we have a camera. I have a camera.
We ended up calling out East Richmond County because, as it turns out, where he was claiming the root ball to be didn't even belong to us; it belonged to East Richmond County, and they maintained that there was no root ball in the situation. So we're fairly certain that plumber was taking advantage of the owner and trying to create a $7,000 job. And so if we had just taken it at his word, we would have incurred a $7,000 expense for something that was unnecessary.
I have a comment about that, plumbing.
I know.
Interior, I have sent Tom to help me diagnose the problem. She had a leak from the upstairs to the downstairs bathroom. Evidence. Had a plumber come and cut it out, determine what thought the problem was. I had Tom come over, verify that so that it was something that our responsibility, or was it HOA? Tom said, right, so it's yours. So fortunately we got it corrected and fixed, but it was collaboration. You guys confirmed it, and we'll hire Mary when he got it fixed.
That's a good point as well, is that part of our job is determining jurisdiction.
I don't know if it's all of our job.
No, I think we have an obligation to make sure that we're not paying for things that don't belong to us.
You get some experienced people that, like this board, to me, I know they're 5 years old. It's good seeing you. Okay. That's one of my wives. So this board has years, right? They have been a lot of knowledge about HOA. Knowledge, and in my opinion, you won't find a better group of working people. They're knowledgeable people. And so I think this place is, I keep saying, it's moving forward. It might not be moving as fast as you want, but boy, we sure need to cut your trees out. Can't see your place. Okay, well, one comment about bushes and things. It's my idea to try to reduce the unnecessary bushes to not spend $5,000 a year for having somebody come by and clip them. Now, my view is to respect the homeowner's desire to take, what's his name, Paris Hilton here. She pays somebody to come by and do the bushes like.
Just one time.
But she does. She takes care of her own bushes. While they take care of theirs. And they have what they want. Rebecca has what she wants. I'm not going to go in there and whack away at somebody's bushes and they don't want them done. Does that mean anything? What's next?
You got the floor, Tom. Whatever you want to
talk. My conversation today revolves around, I'm really concerned about this fire thing. I'm not accustomed to losing legal battles, and I don't want to lose this one. If I can win it, I'm going to win it. And I'm searching for it.
We'll talk about APB.
We will, but the only other thing was your fire hazards. Try to be safe with overload machines. Airbnb?
Yeah.
Who has a concern about Airbnb? Does anybody care? Yeah. That's my opinion. I support. I mean, it's good for the community to do Airbnb.
One thing that I think is interesting about this that I've been thinking about a little bit is initially I didn't think that we had a provision within the documents to forbid it, not explicitly. And I do recall that there was a court case last year or a year or two ago, where a judge ruled that running an Airbnb or a short-term rental is considered a commercial business.
Yes.
And that's a very important distinction because we do have a provision in there.
That's my argument. Don't go on.
Now, that's a little untested, but if we were to challenge it, I think that there might be a good argument there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put that out there, but we haven't reached that point, and I don't think we had two, and I think they are no longer active. So it may be a non-issue at this point.
What's really going to be interesting for them is how far do they want me to go with this matter of fire. That's going to be an interesting play.
Okay. What's next?
I don't have anything else.
You don't have anything else? Okay, want to make an announcement. The termite inspection is February 9th. They'll be out on the property starting at 9 a.m. They do a complete external inspection, but they also like to come into the unit to check for whatever it is they check for. You do not have to allow them to come in, but if you don't, and there's inside termite inspection, that's no longer the problem with the HOA.
Can you repeat that date, please?
February 9th, and they start at 9 a.m. and they walk around the unit. So they start at 9, and I remember last year, I think they were here about 3 hours max. So
and it's like a 31-minute home inspection. It's really quick.
Oh, it's a real quick inspection. They're in, they look at whatever it is they want to look at. I know what they want to look for in my cell unit. I don't know about the others. They look and they're out. And they're most of the time they're inspecting the exterior of the building.
If their unit is not accessible, they are not included in the contract.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
I don't know how legal that is, but that's just, this is a sales job.
Okay, so that's what Terminex says, and nobody here ever needs a termite letter unless you want to sell the place that year, so.
We've never had termites do. We had one, infestation of something that wasn't a termite, but it was covered anyway. I don't think it was a termite. And it was a simple treatment and it went away.
Okay.
So I don't anticipate.
But if you're thinking about selling your house this year and you're going to need a termite letter, you might want to make sure you're there to let them in. Otherwise, you just have to let them in later to get the termite letter.
Okay, I was just wondering when the night was we pay that bill. That's our review. Is that like Valentine's Day? So, in general, are you people happy living out here? And do you feel safe? And do you love it? Do you think things are going? So we passed standards to certain properties, and I guess have caused like major chaos, caused the place not to almost be inhabitable. Was there any effort to try to make the owner that have been leasing to those individuals responsible? I have a situation where an owner rented his place to a convicted felon. And I'm not mentioning any names. And I don't know how much authority the HOA has about setting standards for things. But my heart tells me it's not a good idea to rent to bad places. And if they threaten you or misbehave or break law in some way, somebody needs to be exercised whatever they can. My end of it is financial. I'm like Donald Trump. I'll break you financially. But
to your point, I don't know exactly the situation you're talking about, but I will say that when we've had these bad renters, people report it to us, and we do issue fines and whatnot, and eventually they get kicked out.
fine is financial.
And I do want to be clear that our power to do things is not quick. It does take time.
But I'll make the good point. All of y'all have a responsibility for your own safety. Blame cannot protect you. So when you see something that is extraordinary that bothers you and you know in your conscience is not right, all along. I can assure you that all the activity that used to take place out there at the boardwalk, what do you call that place? Up here. The dock.
Yeah, that shape we put out surprisingly effective.
It has diminished dramatically.
We just put a chain up. And,
well, we call the law on them all the time, and all of us, I walk out there and say, who are you? But the worst thing you can do to a criminal is identify them. And if it gets around that, you know, that you're going to get identified at Point Arcadia, they quit coming. They used to have cars, people would come in to exit the swimming pool, the dock. It was open range out there. Yeah. It's not that way much anymore.
It happens, but
yeah,
we address it.
Yeah. So when you mentioned about parking violations, that they have the authority to call for us as well.
So you have 2 assigned parking spaces. Those are your spaces, and I would ask that you know, if there's a neighbor dispute, you try to work it out, but ultimately you do have the authority to call a tow truck. I think we have a contract with Schroeder's Towing. You can call them and have people taken out of your assigned parking spaces.
What David is saying is that there is a legal term called right, and what you have with your parking is a right. You have jurisdiction over that parking. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you have the right to enforce your space because it has been assigned to you, correct? And
that doesn't mean
to you to tell these people, don't park in my parking place, so I'll have you towed off.
Everybody already has it on the business. I'm passing around something that basically covers many of the things we've discussed today, like parking regulations. You have 2 spaces. You can have people towed. They park in your space. And that you're responsible for calling each Richland County if your trailer's back with those people. All kind of good information that we should have.
Right.
I just keep, me personally, I don't remember it. So turning it all up.
I want y'all to look around and look at your neighbors. And there's others that are tuned in. I'm going to tell you, there's 10 to 15% of this, they're just mad. They're never going to be happy. I plead with them all the time, and we try to accommodate them, but they're never happy. Let's see, 53% is owner-occupied.
estimate, though.
Elaine and David keep up with that. And I asked that question earlier, and Elaine answered 47%.
It's hard to keep up because renters move and renters move out, and we need to come up with some kind of rule that the investors have to keep us informed of who their tenants are.
Oh.
You know, it's just, we've got that information form. Half of them don't ever fill it out. So I think we need to start changing the rules and regulations so we can fine the investor owners when they don't notify us about renters.
Yeah, and other condominium complexes are much more strict than this place. But because this place is internally managed by 5 people who have jobs, I don't, I'm a derelict, but they can lose $500,000. It doesn't matter. Now, we run this place efficiently, and you have the lowest regimes of anybody by far.
Lowest regime fees in Colombia.
Yeah. So that's
to you, and I say, you know, y'all need to vote for money a little bit. You know, it's important. It is. Marie, you had something. She had.
I just wanted to know how many vacant buildings we have on the property. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Are you counting the 5?
I'm counting vacant buildings. Vacant units that are not resided in. Yes, I'm including those. Now I have to start over.
Well, that's sorry.
1, 2, 3. Sophie has 5.
Well, what's the name?
Don't name names. There's at least 10 that I'm aware of.
Wow.
At least 10.
Last year was down, you know.
Why you want to buy it?
The bank bought them.
They're gone. They're gone. They're owned by someone now.
No, I think it might, or maybe it's the Capital Group.
It's a group. I think they've been sold to an investor group. Just like, you know, you hear things about big companies that are coming in and buying homes up all over America. I think that's what has happened there.
Oh, I'm going to say, Tracy is the banker. She works for First Citizen still. Okay, she's also lived as an owner here. She's been very good to me. She's helped me become wealthy. What was I going to say? There was something else that happened. There's something I was going to say.
I think Teresa had it too, right?
Well, I think it's an observation on the question. You asked me, have to consider whatever it is. And to me, if I didn't come periodically to these board meetings once a month, I would probably be more seasoned and grumpy than I am now. But because I probably should do a monthly board meeting, we should be posting little things that people know, not to come to complain all the time. Just to be to sit here and see how our board works. Once a year, you know, it's up to me. It's not sufficient. I have to see what's going on.
She served on the board for many years.
I'm really thankful for that because you're absolutely right. We want people to be involved. We want people to come here, learn how things work, learn the way the board operates, and learn why we make the decisions we make. Because I do know sometimes we run into disagreement here.
Yeah.
Voters, you know, feel one way and we do it a different way. And in the end, we try to do things rooted in the documents and the law and whatnot. And sometimes, for some people, it's not everyone, but they don't know what's going on and they jump to conclusions or they come at it with a perspective that isn't correct, and a good way to combat that is by being involved.
I'm willing to do whatever I can to make this place. Further, I would live here when it was Rome. We played tennis, we stayed at the pool, we drank margaritas, we drove fancy sports cars, and life was really good. And then I saw this place really fall into despair. And the group that I'm one of the groups, and the group that was out here, they all fled. They left. Place it lacked leadership. It lacked vision. You know, me being a property guy, I don't give up on this place. I think this place is remarkably well situated, and it can be for wash. It's like my place in Charleston. It's in downtown Charleston. It is a prime place. And this place can be the same way. But I'm hoping all the others begin to see this vision and want to work together to make it better.
I also want to quickly add, while I'm thinking of it, to the point about the monthly meetings. They are the third Monday every month at 6:30 p.m. November, December can get a little tricky because of the holidays. Sometimes we move it. You'll just have to probably reach out, or sometimes we put notices out there, but it's the third Monday of every
And I'm so glad that the complainants are not here today.
let's not get into that. Is there another? Yeah.
See, they fuss at me because they don't like my style. That's what it is.
It's just out of your content sometimes.
I know, you don't like it.
I don't like it, you're out of order.
Any time that y'all want to leave me into this position, I'll pay you $10.
Oh, I've had so many already. I'm going to get to the part that you're not holding.
You sure are. I know, yeah.
Have a form enough to go.
At this moment, I've done the calculation. I have to redo it, some place where I don't have all the noise in the background. At this point, we are very close, but we don't have a quorum right now. But we still have a few things coming in, so we don't know.
And what we'll probably do is, as I think it may have been mentioned earlier, there's a 10-day voting period, so we can go out and petition from 4 or 5 owners that didn't show up and try to reach that quorum.
The latest changes in the law, and Cam's is a big reason why this has occurred, is that nobody's being able to meet the quorums in the traditional sense in a meeting house like this. So what our state Congress, the legislature, has revised these requirements that supersede master deeds. This meeting is not over as far as I'm concerned. It's not over. It's not going to be over for 10 days. So I'm good.
Yes. Leave your ballots up here. Vote and leave your ballots right here.
I'm hoping everybody in this room is going to vote for your 3% increase.
To that point as well, yes, I have 2 people that I will unmute them in just a moment.
Wait, is this the same as this? Yes. It's just a different color. The colors are
based on your percentage.
as most of you know, all your votes and the quorum and everything is based on your percentage, and the percentage is based on the size of your unit. The color just tells me if it's an 83, a 99, or a 121.
Oh, should I put my unit number on that?
No. All I need is the color. We don't care. We don't care to know who voted.
How are you going to know?
Another reminder. Sorry, what?
Just another reminder to everybody.
Are you going to understand who We don't need to know who's. You got a green ballot? All right. I know exactly what they are based on the color of those ballots. I don't need to know the unit number.
No, but how do you know who to go talk to? You said you're going to go talk to.
At the meeting, then reach out to them. There's people that I know are here that we can reach. Probably
Let's look at the ballot. We don't need to talk to you because we've got.
But you don't know who these ballots are for.
We don't, but we know who's here today.
Who of these people are here?
We have that, but we would work on it.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
The proxy too, and if they're here and on the proxy list, then you wouldn't bother.
We know who the proxies are, yeah.
I also want to add that if there does end up being an increase, we're required to get 30 days of notice, which means the absolute earliest it could go into effect would be April. But of course, we'll provide that notice. I have 2 people who have raised their hands. I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise. I'm going to unmute Eugene. Eugene.
Hi, thank you, Dave. Hi, everyone. So I have a question about voting since I'm not there presently. Can I just put the mark on the ballot and just send an email with that to what?
Yes.
Okay.
You should have gotten the ballot in your packet, and if you could get that to us, email, mailbox, whatever works. Just go
I have just done that.
Email said, yeah.
Yeah, I just done that, so you should receive mine. And I have another question about, probably everybody heard about the FBI raid that was...
Yeah, somebody asked about that. Fortunately, we don't really know what happened there. They wouldn't tell us.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you have any comments. Okay, that would be all. Thank you.
Which think they were after you?
And I don't have any more hands, so is this the moment that we adjourn the meeting?
Oh, he did. I don't think any. Does anybody else have any questions? No, they lost interest. Meeting's adjourned.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to end the virtual meeting now. Thank you for your participation.
Let's take video. All right. Here. How many proxies we got?
Somebody have windows.